Welcome, everyone, to another Traders Community podcast. Welcome all the investors and traders, punters and dribblers out there. Another eventful day. We had another 3 of our Dirty Dozen dribblers drop earnings today, and it's been a spectacular fall from grace in particularly in this quarter, and we'll go through those. We had UPath, we had GRWG, and of course these follow up yesterday's Palantir and Path. And we also saw other big stocks get whacked today. Coin was another one. Who else did we have there? Trying to think. Been quite the eventful session. But yeah, so we had Coin, GRWG out of the DDD all dropped today. So yesterday's Palantir. Who's the other one I'm trying to think of? Oh yeah, Upstart. Sorry guys. So yeah, so it's been, and you can see basically that short base we had was based on certain criteria, and a lot of it's really come home to roost. Some more than what we suspected. Some of them quite dramatic, actually, and we'll go through that. As far as futures trading goes today, basically we open up or attempted to go higher, which we actually thought it would gap down first and then go higher and perhaps short square into tomorrow's CPI. What happened was it went up and then went down to new lows today, created a double bottom, but it bounced as we'll talk about. I think about 80 handles on the S&P, but it was very tepid and it came back. The catalyst seemed to come from, the catalyst seemed to come from the 3-year bond, which was B plus, A minus, depending who you're talking to. So that gave a good catalyst. It brought the 10-year back under 3, even though that was a 2-year. And there's constant hope, actually, all the time in this situation. Even though the VIX is elevated, it doesn't take much to bring it off. So anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at where we are. Oil, WTI is under 100, 99. Natty gas had a massive move. 730. They got as low as 650, as you can see, even under low 640s. The NASDAQ 1233, 7. Vol is 32.5, and the NAS, where's the we just did that, 1237, and the S&P is under 4,000 at 3996 SPX right now. So remember, this is not financial advice or any other form of advice, really. This is just professional traders giving a view on how we see the market panning out, how we've seen it panning out, and how others in the pro side of things are looking at things. So let's, without further ado, look at the SPOOs. As I said, not a lot to do. It just continued down today. Here's the daily chart. You can see all bright red. Weekly, same thing. We are flirting with this trend line that it broke up way back then when it tried to rally. We're back testing that. If it gets under that, it gets really messy. It did play with it today. If we look at the 5-minute chart, you can see that little, well, actually go to the hourly chart. You can see that bounce we were speaking of. So it did this little double bottom, triggered some stops. There was no follow through that came right around the time of the bond auction. We did get a bounce. It hit the 50 on the hourly, and look how just quickly it came down. On the 5-minute, this was also the 6/8 off minus 2/8, so a full move. And you can see what we're trying to do after hours. When we have had some earnings after hours, none of them that I can think of actually did any good, unless I'm missing some, Madavi. Am I missing any? Did any do good?
Besides Johnny Be Good? No.
Johnny Be Good. That was a hit back in the day, I think. So if we go on to the Dow, the Dow actually finished down today. So did the Russell. And you can see this is... we're trading right on that megaphone. That was the other previous one. And so the SPOOS was basically unchanged and NASDAQ was up a tad after it was just destroyed yesterday. Okay, let's bring Madavi on and talk about the NASDAQ. And you can see on the daily, it actually has a green spug down there at minus 5/8.
I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah. Oh, you, my friend, my NASDAQ friend. And so just to fill us in, if you took profit on that hit your first target right on that big trade, right? Okay.
Having a feeling that we'd get a bounce up today, which we did bounce up, I don't know, 100 something handles. So I'm going to look and see if there's going to be weakness or strength tomorrow. And if I see weakness, I might put back on some of or all that position I got out it for another ride down. But if I see strength, I'm just going to hold off.
So you're talking about on the CPI, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, on the CPI report tomorrow. So that's what everybody's waiting for. That CPI is going to be, I guess, what's going to lead us to the next weeks of trading. A lot of people are looking for that number tomorrow. So that's going to determine if I'm going to stay where I'm at or if I'm going to add to it for maximum short.
So is it going to lead us into temptation? Is that what you're saying? The
exactly.
CPI. So isn't there something else out tomorrow?
As it is for heaven, as it is for earth.
So let's see what else. Yeah. So tomorrow we got the mortgage applications in the morning. So that's not going to mean much. Well, it might later. A look back. But so the CPI, the consensus is 0.2%. Last time it was 1.2%. That was a big one. Core 0.4%. Prior 0.3%. And this will be a beauty. April Treasury budget is out tomorrow. 192 billion last time. They know how to spend their money. They're bloody good at that. So, and there's stuff out in Europe. You saw there's a slew of Fed bankers been chatting away. They're also going to be. I don't know if they're talking tomorrow, but assuming if it all goes wrong, right? So anyway, you can see on a perfect measured move, we stick with those same levels on both those futures contracts. Okay, let's go through. Well, I guess on energy, we'll just look at Natty real quick. So oil, as you know, came off those highs yesterday. It's settled under the daily 50. And Cajun, if we go to daily, it's just sitting under 100. You can see it's just really the same thing, Tankin and Cajun, right? We had the API numbers out after the market, bit of a build. Everyone's going to be waiting for the EIA number tomorrow. As you know, these really don't have too much of a weight at this point other than spreads. It's more products, shortage of distillates, gasoline, hedging on the curve, and of course all the geopolitical talk. As far as Natty goes, this is why we say dribblers stay out of this. Huh?
Coin.
Well, let me look at that real quick. We'll look at charts. Let's just look at Natty. So Natty got wrecked from 9. This is known as the most volatile commodity. It's the most dangerous thing to trade given the value of each point, the way there's so many catalysts can move it, weather, multiple pipelines, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, $9 down to $6.44. I mean, that's from like last Friday. Yesterday it fell, and this is 5 minutes I want to show you. You can see it was a classic minus 2/8 bounce, and it was direct, or didn't even draw a breath till 7.20. So straight up, 70 cents. That was also 6/8, so nothing real there. That was an eighth move. So that did bring some questions, but it did not break the Tankin. And look where it got to, all the way to 8/8, which is a full plus 2/8 move, 8 and plus 2/8. Sideways, played off this, and this is where we are. If we look at this on a daily. So if you haven't got Sierra charts, do yourself a favour because this stuff looks real easy on that. It didn't quite get to the weekly 50, But look at that. I mean, the daily, I beg your pardon. And look at that. Bang! All the way back to Cajun. It's not magic. It's just maths. Right? And one more natty. And then we're going to look at all those. So coin, as you know, is the crypto IPO from last year. The crypto broker, I guess. Is that what you call it? And then we get weekly. Spat back above the Cajun. Okay, stocks. Where did we put them, mate? Here we go. Oh, we should look at bonds, I guess, so we can just concentrate. Okay, bonds rallied at the end of the day. Just a tad, you can see a 60-minute chart. And a green spug, as I said, on that auction. The yield, you can see the yield's got as high as... almost 3, was it 322, I thought. But anyway, we came off. We weakened and then we try to rally here at the end. Okay, let's look at stocks. So, first off the rack, I guess we should look at Snap. So this was one of our favourite shorts. We kind of stuffed it up. We'd love to say we're still short, but that was that mess up on Friday, remember? That got as low as 22. And it's pretty well there. Okay, so we're going to look at coin that reported. And so where did we first trade this, Madavi? Do you remember? It was like 350 or something?
$300.
And remember it was that last big IPO, really. Well, Rivian was probably the last big one.
You're holding up pretty nice right now. I'm long it.
Well, here, I'm bringing up the coin. So,
I'm showing some of the stuff around.
So here's coin. Let's go all the way back weekly so we can see. So this is the epitome of dribble, right? This is bloody end of the whole Ponzi. Actually, it was 420. I thought it was way up there.
Yeah, that's the highs, but we started trading at 320.
I thought we traded on that IPO, and that was 400.
Yeah, that was IPO went from like 280 to 400 or something.
Yeah, it looks like 4. Yeah, that sounds familiar. So it's come off from there, had its little suck-in rally. So 1, 2, 3 massive waves. This is in the Dribbler Dirty Dozen. It took a while to really reward, but it had all the hallmarks: overpriced, overzealous, coldish. It also, this is what really pretty well did me and Madavi in with Kathy Woods when she bought this thing, not just at IPO, but on that open. We're like, what the freak? You don't need to do that, you know. So here we are today. We closed just before earnings at $72.99, all the way from 400. We have earnings, and we're going to show you that live, and that's even lower again. It's trading 61.80. So earnings came out. It missed 72 into the high 50s, and we've been flagging ever since. Very, very weak response. We also noticed RK, which I assume, I don't know where Meta is, but I'm assuming this is in that index. It could be in the internet one. I'm not really sure. So again, look at that destruction. Now, we had so also in the Dribblers today is, so remember, basically a lot of tech, a lot of things that have basically a couple of the criteria are cults, manic, overpriced, right? So we have a few cannabis type stocks, tech stocks, as a general rule. When oil tops out, we may flip out. Some of these are right around. So here's a big question which we're going to, we're not going to give you tax advice, but we're going to show some of the reasons how we keep some of them in and why we flip some out. You obviously want something better to go in. So right now we shorted some energy. We actually took profit on P10 today and EQT, but we're short some others. When we think they get dribbler status, certain aspects in that, they'll go in here as well, right? So anyway, so this is UPath, which is one we banged out. We've been short this for a long time, actually. A lot of these things. We would love to tell you that we were short this at $210, right? But we actually got short this when it broke. So basically, we got really bearish at the end of the year. Like, because when the S&P did its, the 1st of January, it did that little fake break, and we spoke about it on the podcast. We started our podcast there, that they were window dressing and all that. We got really short. We put together our Dribbler 12 right around then. And it was a series of stocks that we'd watched dribblers really pumping and priming that we just thought were nonsense. So UPark was one of them. And so we put this on at $142. And really there's some volatility here. We have a few times sold puts, and these are long-term plays. And so before today's earnings was 48.13. You can see they go. You got to be patient in these. Like Madavi mentioned before, he was short. Not AstraZeneca. Who are you short? Novavax. It takes a while sometimes, and all of a sudden you'll get paid, and it may be earnings or a change, but there's certain criteria, right? So anyway, so that's UPark, and then today, which Madavi's actually playing to bounce, this is why. So we came down, we closed like I just said. We went as low as under $30 and we're trying to bounce here. So a lot of these stocks that are in the dribbler, they have coldish and they want to buy the dip. So you get that constant dribble. So that's one. So you can see how it's trying to play the bounce. We went under -2.8 under 5 minutes, so it gave him a good, steady technical bounce. And he's watching order flow. What was the other dribble? We also had one of our favorites. So in the space of marijuana, there's ADB. We're being short. We short that, not in the dribbler, but it's just one around earnings. We nearly always do it, right? The one that's in the Dirty Dozen is GRWG, which you all know, the growth one. And this one is crazy when you look at how high this went. And none of these make money, right? There's always some bullshit story that goes with them. So here's what we are right now, live, $4, four and change. And you can see it just keep going down. But look at where we are weekly. And I've just thought this whole sector is full of false promises and just overpriced, right, basically. And not being a dope head, I can't say I'm a connoisseur or anyone, but people that I do know who smoke this stuff, they tend to have bloody dealers anyway, right? So anyway, overblown, really heavily taxed and all that. So, as you can see, this thing got as high as $68, like at the end of 21. We added, as I said, we added all this stuff in. This one we actually got short earlier. I forget why. Do you remember why we started shorting dope stocks last? It was probably, I'd have to look back, but this might have been because of one of those promises to legalize it, and it broke down. So anyway, we're short this at $42 and change, and here we are at 5. This will probably go broke, or it could get acquired by someone. That's the 3 today. Yesterday, as you know, we had Upstart was one that this is one that we don't that actually is in the Dirty Dozen, just because every time we tried to add it, it was just too expensive, right? You couldn't borrow it or whatever, but it should be in. So it's an honorary member. But I'd love to say we are short it, but none of us are, right? This thing went under $30 today. So,
I was long a little bit, then I shorted it, and I played it all night last night. It's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, you traded it, though. But what I mean is we haven't been short it since last year.
Short all the way.
Yeah. Geez, why? We did look at it a few times. I think Johnny a few times put on some puts.
Yeah,
but
I did well in it. Then I tried to go long a couple times, and it failed. Then I just blasted it. And then when I got it this morning, I was just blasting it some more.
As you do, right? So look, it got in at 29.
I bought it at 31, and I I've been riding it, but can't get above here too much more. So I'm basically exiting out. I got a few shares left, but did well in it.
Yeah, so that goes with that, and this is the part. It's partner in crime, and actually added to it today. Is SoFi? is in our list now. This one we actually had short a few times. Actually, I want to say we were actually long this back in one of those bull runs, just on calls or something.
Along the way.
Yeah, but when we actually put it on as a proper short, like i.e. to hold it, was if you remember they did a takeover of someone. It's on Trades Community there, but anyway, we've been short this on and off since $16.
Last raise, they got lucky to do it for $1.2 billion.
Oh yes. That was this, and we were shorted, and we were we're up obviously because we're short here, but it's kind of it went against us for a bit. Yep. I remember that. That was March.
They came out. They said they don't need money, like snaps, and the next day they did $1.2 billion.
Yeah. Because they bought out. So that's a consistent one. There's a lot of stock in that, so obviously, but yeah, this was way up there. And the common denominator, a lot of these are SPACs, right? So the question is, and we're going to come back to the trick question later.
Well, I bet there's going to be, if anybody's looking for stadium signage in LA, I got a prediction. I think one might come available.
just a short. So here's one of our other main ones, as you know, Palantir. That had earnings again yesterday, and it got pummeled. So it's getting right near -2/8 on the daily. The question is with some of these, right? So this is do some of these go private? Do they go bankrupt? Do they get acquired, or do they survive? They're the questions you got to ask for all these.
You got to ask yourself: is it worth it when you're like a beginning stock to have a SoFi Stadium named after you?
Oh yeah. Well, so if you go back to one of the crashes, I think it was the internet boom, but they used to name it was almost like, okay, that's the end of it. They've named a stadium or bought the rights to it.
You're not making money, and you're paying that kind of money to have stadiums named after you. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's kind of negligence at best, right?
And then you're asking for more money for what? Naming the stadium? I guess that you say that's part of your advertisement. I mean, there's the thing about that.
Well, that's what it is, I think. I think it's that sort of thing. But so here's Palantir. So what's really bearish about this? It broke under this shelf of like $8 or $9, right? So that
I'm short.
Well, so Piton was actually in the Dirty Dozen way back when we were first doing it, and then hang on, sorry, what and.
Yeah, a nice little downtick. Then I bought it back at the 12.
Well, I'm thinking when it was over 100, and then it had all those moves. So he didn't. You shorted. You made some money on it, and every time I tried to put it in, I think it was something. It was around here, right? In the first rendition of it.
$24. They came out with that fake thing.
No. But I'm talking back when it was over 100. I'm talking way back then. Yeah.
I had that thing short for so long, it kept on getting because they were
And so every time, it was just started to put it in. But I believe from memory, you were short when it did this little breakdown, 90 to 45. You got that gap down.
45. Then I got stopped out on that Amazon buyout thing. Oh, Amazon's going to buy the bike or something.
Yeah. That's this. No, that's this one. That's this one.
Yeah.
12 to 35. It's one of these. But so the other day, and we kind of missed this, it was so fast, it popped up to $18 because they made a statement that they were looking for investors or some bullshit. So it went to 18 and quickly straight back. Then the market realised, well, I guess there's no takers.
They didn't like it.
Yeah. So again, it's just a fancy bike. I mean, if anyone's going to buy it, it's going to be someone that wants to fit into their portfolio. Like,
if you want one of these fancy bikes, just go onto your little used equipment things. You buy them pretty cheap now.
Yeah, no doubt. So this actually got to 960 today. To give you so punters and dribblers. So there's some people we know, and I'd love to say, who put this on short after this fail. This is his $18 spike. Look how fast it was. Here's a 5-minute chart. You blinked and you missed it. But some of the lads got and ladies got short at 15.16, and they obviously got well rewarded today. Who else did we want to go through? That's pretty well.
So this is kind of the opposite of the bull market. You short everything. I love it.
Well, I forgot about it. AI is one of our dribblers, and so we're still short that. Nicely, yeah. We went through this the other day. We're actually short this from $140. Huh? Go on, mate.
Now, for us to take all those guys for all those years that made all their money.
And mocked us. Said how many times we hear this time it's different, you stupid old bastards.
Thank you guys for making all that money so you could give it right to me. Thank you. I appreciate any of you guys done it.
Spoken like a true gentleman. So here's AI. Of course, one of ours. That got sold off again. You can see if it breaks all this 13, then it probably goes into singles. And a lot of these, and then, of course, Path is one of our favourites. That, actually, we got hit on some of this morning and took some back in. Remember, Johnny, I kind of stuffed this. But nice trade. So these are all similar. They're all in the same genre. And many of these, as you can see, there's a pattern. So it got a hit -2/8. So we covered a percentage here today. It's under 5. And so you just got to take it in, even if you believe in it. But if basically, and I'm going to mention this in a minute, but I just want to get through one more that we.
Well, one thing about the bike thing, they're changing their business plan. They're going to go to software. They're going to be a software company now.
Oh God! Well, how is that not in that? We stuffed up. That's got every criteria for the Dirty Dozen. So here's Task, another one. This one we did at the end of the year. We got introduced to it by one of the great dribblers. So this we put in the mid-low 60s, and you can see, I think we actually, I'm just looking at it, 52.5 is where we got in. That's on this pullback. And look what it did today. So another one. Again, these companies are very similar. Wow, this thing got to $84. Wow. Just wonder how many of the owners sold up here. I bet there's a ton of them. What was
all about love.
What was the other one, mate? There was another one.
Oh man.
So so our other dribblers, as you know, the pair Uber and Lyft are still doing pretty well. Lyft we will actually got taken out of because it's short and we sold all the puts, so it's now under that level. It went to 7 under 18 today, so that's Lyft. Days are numbered, as you can see. How do they do? These guys are lost burning. They got to raise money? How do they survive? Uber's the other one. So Uber, you could argue, has got some catching up to do. And look at Uber.
Survive. I don't know about Lyft.
Well, they may survive. We're just talking about in terms of stock price, because they all need money. Whether they're going to issue more shares or what. So Uber's still got 14 to be equal to Lyft as far as that move. Well, so they are brand names, so I don't think they're just going to totally go away. But you never know. But
it's going to take probably about 10 years for next generation to come in and forget all this happened, and there'll be hope to restart the machine again.
So you can see all these are constant, and there's others now that you're seeing, like that we've actually. So Fubu was another big one that we actually got trailed out. I had to stop too tight, but that was one we were in forever. This was really hard to get short. I kept shorting at around $30 and get stopped, and mainly on options, because sometimes you just can't borrow these. You got to use options. Options get expensive. So on this one, remember this. it must have been here. I kept getting stopped out, remember? Or the options would expire and this had happened. That's kind of what happened. But we got back short around here. This is about the 20, and I got trailed out in here, I think, my darling.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can see it's just dribbled down to nothing. So that got brought out, but it's all the hallmarks of everything. I mean, so I think that's pretty well everything we covered. Anything else to add, Johnny? Oh, we should mention crypto. So we broke that weekly. We've been watching on that tepid thing, which so many of us said was BS. It's fake and it's meant to be US. It crapped itself, went down to 60 cents on the dollar last night, bounced back I think to 85. That caused, I mean, what can I say? They love it. They love it. Yes, they do, sir. And you can see we're down here at 30 on the mighty Bitcoin. And you can see that's unraveling, a lot to do. You can see the same thing as Ethereum. It's not going down as fast because they're doing that merge deal. And there's some points on the Bitcoin if you want to take that as a 5. So 100% of this move is down at, where's my little chart value? There it is. So that's 26. That's how big this move was. 26,826. And that's coming from 69. So there's $40,000 this move. Oh, and they go, oh, it's cheaper to buy more. Oh, okay, mate, no worries. So if this becomes an extension, you got all this in here. Because remember, this move, right? So how we measured this, and we got the bloody top on this. It shows you it is all algo driven. This move from 100 to here, which was the break, right? From here to there. We calculate 423%, which you only see in manic markets. So you saw this in, if you went back, well, you saw it in a lot of tech stocks this time too, but back in the, not the 80s, 2000, when was that? 2000, I guess. But anyway, you can see how dramatic that is. And to retrace that, and we're almost retraced it, is quite astonishing. That's how big that move's been on that little dribbler. Is that the king of dribbles?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be, doesn't it? Okay, so there we are. Hopefully that gave you a bit of an insight, a few ideas. Tomorrow's CPI. As you know, we took a lot off the table. It's been phenomenal. A couple of areas in energy, in bloody stocks, futures. Man, big week, and it's only Tuesday. So let's have a look at a good question. It's got to ask a question about gold and silver. Silver, not a big fan of. The likely target is the bottom of this channel before we see anything. You can see potentially there's a triple bottom. Triple bottoms is generally made to be broken. We got all bearish here when it failed. Remember, it was thought, okay, it held it. It failed here, and it's just gone down ever since. Silver, what do you call it? Poor man's gold. So your first target is basically here, $19.04. It's $21. Those not short. I noticed SLV and getting smashed today, and a few other silver related.
Mine's looking great.
And now if we look at gold, see, look at the difference. See, gold is actually still not even at that line. So there's support on gold here at, obviously it's down with the surge of the dollar. But where is that level? So 18.20. It's pretty close to it, top of the cloud. So, and we're under the 50, which isn't good. You'd want that to close over the weekly. From the bear point of view, this is a double top, and you'd get a measured move, which is here. 1680 less that is 320. What's 320 plus 80 is 400. So your bear target would be 400 from that. This is all just fast, peoples. 1280, which puts you down here, right? That's your bear target. Your bull target is, this is 1, 2, like this is the break. So the top, 1, 2. This all holds somewhere around here in the cloud, and you get a regeneration on the top. What other commodities did someone ask for copper, I think. So copper, look at this, broke this big channel. That's why we've been bearish and sellers of FCX. That's copper looking at that. We got it all. That's our little pretty one with words and all that sort of stuff. And you can see here, even clearer, we've been bearish since it broke this top, 4.8. We labelled it 503. So here's we've been short for a while on this one. But short via FCX, not the futures. And the other one we're short is aluminium, is AA. So this one, if you recall, Mado, remember it was one of my longer term ones from like 14. Yeah. So this was really lucky. We held it all the way. Finally, I got trailed out here in this little thing about, so not 88, like 80, I'd have to check, but 80 and a half maybe, 82. Looked like a genuine hero. It went right down to 68. Then it exploded with that aluminium run, almost to 96. Remember, I'm like, God dang it. So here it is, though. And we did try to short that. Remember, Madabi, you and I tried to short AA with just like 400 shares or something?
Yeah.
It was pretty, I mean, this thing gets wild. Obviously, we should have held it, but it wasn't easy.
We are like back a couple of years ago. I mean, all you did is short that stock every time.
So the reason I held it was they split off. They divided the company into two, basically. They started paying dividend, and aluminium just got crazy. I don't trade aluminium. I've never traded aluminum or aluminium or alumina, any of those futures. But we know iron ore and all that. It just got crazy. It also got to plus 2.8 to profit. It had this manic run, almost to 100, and this is where we shorted it. But it was just so volatile. Even with the margins were big, and this is on Alcoa, right? So just imagine what they're in at, like in aluminium. And then it fell out of bed. So now, getting out at 80 looks pretty good, right? So just remember, when you're long term, I always say it's better to get out early than late. So here it looked like I was a moron, right? Because it went up another $10. But imagine if you're still holding, or if you're the guy who bought it up here. So keep that in mind when you're trading, right? Same as wheat. We fiddled with this one for a while. This is when Johnny found this ETF. We made a little bit of money. When it was hot, we've never traded it again. And it's sideways, and none of us really know enough to talk about it, right? So that's pretty well everything, I think. Any other questions, send them to us. We're happy to ask. Hopefully everyone's doing good, got a good level head of what's going on. Remember, you do expect bear market rallies, and today we were actually hoping it was going to be one because it gives you more opportunity, but it was very tepid and died out, which is interesting. And what you want to do is watch the dribblers, how they react. CNBC, your FinTwits. If they get all really bullish instantly, A, it tells you they're really long, but B, you want to see if the market can carry on for that. You also want to know what the catalyst was. It was pretty clear the catalyst was bonds and a few Fed speakers today, and it gave it up. And as Madabi said, that all flows in nicely to CPI. So let's see what that does tomorrow.
Most of these stocks are going to go down to like a couple cents, and we're not going to have much to trade with.
Yeah, so we don't want total oblivion. But that's why we trade more than stocks, right?
But here's going to be the good thing is, there's going to be a concentrated of several stocks that are probably going to be good trading. They'll take over. Right.
Well, and it's probably going to be a little bit the way it is. If you take out outside of the big five, so you've got Apple, Tesla, all these ones trade now, and now they'll probably be the same ones. So,
now you got so many stocks. I mean, when I was running, you got so many different stocks that you got to find the right one. Well, it's going to consolidate with most traders going to be involved in like probably 30, 40 stocks.
Right. So that's the worst case scenario, right?
And so every couple and they'll be constant. You could trade every day. They'll have volume because there's going to be a lot of these guys who are the new millionaires are going to be the new homeless.
Damn. Someone's got a big birthday coming up, so he's being a little bit what's the word? Can't think of the word. Anyway.
it'll be trading places all over again. Amen.
Great, man. So we just want to update you on the Dirty Dozen. And so we've had a bunch of them report in the last few days. So grateful that it's gone to plan. Expect more algorithm choppiness as you go into CPI. Don't be scared of selling optionality against your positions, things like that. However you understand it or protect it. It's a different game when vol's really high. And look, stay away from these dribblers that just say stuff, right? You know if there's big orders going through and all that, but you don't know what they're doing. If there's 1,000 puts going through, you don't know if it's someone buying it for protection, someone's rolling it, someone's doing the spread. You know, who knows? And these guys are massive out there, right? Massive. I can tell you stories about blokes that regularly do 10,000 options on natural gas. So just put in perspective, listen to blokes that actually been there and that. Avoid the noise and just keep your wits about you. Any other words of wisdom, mate?
Protect your cash.
Right. Or your euro or your yen or whatever you bloody got. It looks like it's been a bit hard to protect your Bitcoin. So anyway.
Actually, get rid of your cash, go in gold.
Well,
hard assets, baby, hard assets.
Or what about putting them in your mattresses? There you go. Put your money in your mattress.
Mate's got some mattresses. He's the Sealy King, so you guys can talk to Mate about mattressing. You know?
Okay, bud. Well, see you, mate. Still great trading. Great. You had a great vision on this last big wave. Nicely done. It was great to see you take some in yesterday and relax all day. Nothing better than taking it in, right? And staying to the plan. Anyway, what day is it? Tuesday. You've also got the EIA number out tomorrow for oil. So big day, CPI that. You've also got, so we got the CPI number, but then we have the 10-year auction tomorrow and the 30-year the day after. Now, that 10 year is going to be significant because it comes off a CPI number. And remember what I've always said. You watch what your Forex, and when I say Forex, I mean your big guys, your banks, not your little bloke on a FXCM with $50 account. That ain't what we're talking about. And your big bond trader. And again, that means the blokes that on the floor, or used to be on the floor, how they're going to trade these things, the guys with experience, and they're looking out on the curve and all that sort of stuff. And they're aware of impending time bombs, be they geopolitical risk or whatever, monetary risk, all that sort of stuff. Okay, I think that's about it. I think we dribbled on enough, didn't we?
Yeah, we're good enough.
Okay. Yeah. See you. Remember, smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. That's the one we're looking for. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye now. If you